Hi Taurus, welcome to your November 2020 tarot card reading. It didn't take me long to figure out what the message was of this. So let's get started, because there's some things. At the beginning of the month, we have the Four of Pentacles. The beginning of the month, through all of these cards up here, is going to be the 1st through the 10th. I noticed this kind of theme with you guys where, at least in this month, where you're kind of guarded in a certain way. I'm getting the sense that you guys got something that you didn't think you'd ever get this month. You could be going through with a plan, and all of a sudden, I specifically see this with like work, but you could be going through a plan and you guys finally have the things that will work for it. You guys have gathered all of the tools that can set you on the right path, and I see this kind of like protection over it. Like this kind of move in silence type of energy where you guys are like, I'm not going to tell anybody about this, and I don't trust anybody with this. We have the Lovers card at the beginning of the month. And when I read that, I kind of read that it's probably about someone significant to your life. You could have been introduced or be introduced to someone, and all of a sudden you notice that things are starting to work out for you. You're noticing certain things that you haven't noticed before, where you're being taken advantage of, where you're not. I think that for you guys this month, well, last month, somebody told you a story, and you guys kind of only believed one part of it. And so you gather this kind of protection over it. You get kind of protective over it. And you are now kind of looking back at it in a way of you didn't see that side before. Okay, let me try to explain. So I'm really seeing that this could either be, you could be protective over your emotions, your feelings toward other people, or you could be protective over like a business plan or a project. I feel like you guys showed this idea to somebody also, and they kind of were like, I don't really see the vision of this. And you're like, no, this is what I'm doing, and I'm not listening to you in that way. I'd advise you guys to take other people's advice this month. Not take it and always apply it, because some people's advice is just so off to where you're supposed to be, or you don't even want to be associated with it. But I advise you not to be blind to other people's advice. Anyways, like I was saying, I feel like you guys only seen one side of the story. There's this kind of energy, and there's, you didn't see what you didn't know before. And I think with Taurus is they can often be, sort of one-sided in a way. They know when their mind is made up about something. I'd advise you to go through the fine proof this month if you're signing papers. But it's mostly, I notice, it's either, I'm really just getting that it's either to do with a business idea, a project, or it has to do with your own emotions. I feel like you guys are just really guarded this month. And I'm not judging, because there's always a reason why people are guarded. But I'd urge you not to carry that all in your back. Sometimes we get these kind of rush of energy that just spirals us into one part of our lives that we didn't want to go back to. And we don't really realize that we don't have to just listen to one part of who we are because it's the loudest. You know what I mean? We don't have to, and this could deal with self-esteem too. We don't have to listen to one part of ourselves just because it's the loudest. Let's go back and reevaluate what we find most important and what we love to do. Let's not be the type of person that carries it all on their back, carries other people on their back, carries stories on their back, and carries just, not the past, but carries everyone at once. how we define things is everything. And if we don't open our eyes to every part, whether it's yourself, whether it's a business idea, whether it's another person, if we don't open all of ourselves to every possibility, there's no way it can turn out in the way that we want it to. We can change the outcome. We can't always, it's hard to sometimes change how you feel, change what happened, but we can always look it over again. Don't be afraid to question this month. Don't be afraid to question and to say, you know what, for 1 second, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at what I said. I'm also getting this sense of you guys could be forgiving yourselves for something this month. I feel like you guys carry on a burden that does not need to be carried. Something that happened is not as big of a situation, and you still are kind of blind to the fact that you don't need to carry that on. The overall view was the Ace of Wands. When I read the Ace of Wands, first of all, wands have to do with fire, and it has to do with, to me, I associate it with a mission beyond anything else. But I also associate it with energy and a plan. I want you to pay attention to what's in this card. We have buildings behind it, stabilization, the earth, water, emotions, what we feel. We have it up in the air. We have all these elements, including fire, the sun, the wands. And we have to, with this card, the overall view, we have to be able to look at it all. We can't just look at the wand. We can't just look at one thing. I feel a really strong message to go over what we find stable. I always say this, and you can agree or disagree, but I don't believe that you should ever put stabilization, put stability on another person, because people are fickle, they're emotion tied. When we do that and it doesn't go right, we blame ourselves. We blame everything but the situation at hand. And I'm really getting that message for you guys that I'm getting a message of you're trying, but someone else is not necessarily telling you everything, perhaps. This reading is more to do with the energy around you than anything. At the beginning of the month, we have this guarded kind of Four of Pentacles. We have the Two of Swords, which is blind to all possibilities. But then we have the Page of Cups. And right above that, we have the Ace of Swords. This indicates to me swift change. I feel like you guys are able to see what happened from all sides. I'm not scared for you guys. I see that you're able to see that you're able to see what all happened and what the story is really like. When you get that story, do not blame yourself. Do not carry that burden. Realize that it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time that you could forgive yourself enough to want to do better. Does that make any sense? I want to just say something real quick because I feel like I need to say this. And it's just a stupid quote. I think I got it from a movie or something, but it's all like, it takes two to salsa. So that basically means that it takes two to dance. And you can dance by yourself, yes, but when it comes to salsa, it takes two to salsa, and you have to not put it all on you. Do not blame the person that you thought. Do not blame your head, your ideas, the story that you found out and believed. Instead of blaming yourself, falling victim, change the way you interpret it. You're only as good as what happened and what you did at that time. In other news, I'm seeing a fire sign coming into your life pretty quickly. that is probably going to show you that you are able to care about yourself in the midst of even feeling bad. Okay, I will see you guys next month, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.